I want to start this out by saying that this video isn't just quick, easy self-improvement. This video is a landmark of the human we are all becoming, an essay of the life that we have lived and what we all worry about, being lost. So I want you to stop looking at your life like it's a finished product and start looking at it like a crime scene where you're the only detective. You are obsessed with the finish line, but you haven't even realized that the track is moving under your feet. We are all walking around pretending we have the map, but the truth is, everyone, including the people you look up to, the people who intimidate you, and the people who raised you, is just winging it in the dark. We treat life like a test we're supposed to pass, but how can you pass a test that nobody has the answer key to? You're sitting there worried that you're behind, but behind who? Behind a version of yourself that doesn't even exist? We need to have a real conversation about the fact that making it is a myth. And the moment you realize that, you stop being a prisoner to your own expectations and start actually living the chaos. You think you're failing because you don't have a 10-year plan. But I'm telling you that the 10-year plan is a cage built by people who are too afraid to admit they have no idea what's coming next Tuesday. It's okay to be lost. I want you to really sit with that. Not as a consolation prize, but as a fundamental truth of the human condition. If you aren't lost, you aren't actually exploring. You're just a passenger on a bus someone else is driving, staring out a window at a view you didn't choose. It's okay to not know what you're doing right now. It's okay to not know what you really want. We live in a culture that demands a personal brand from us before we're even handed our first real heartbreak, and it's exhausting. We are forced to curate our confusion into something that looks like progress, but sometimes you chase the thing that seems like your ultimate goal, the degree, the title, the social standing, and when you finally reach it, you realize it wasn't all what you expected it to be. You stand at the summit and realize the air is thin and the ground is cold. Sometimes things just aren't meant to work out, and that's okay. Sometimes on the road you take toward what you had previously thought would be your saving is where you really find what you want, where you find your purpose, or you don't. And that's perfectly okay too, because the saving wasn't at the end of the road. The saving was the road itself. We are all haunted by the ghost of who we should be. We walk around with this invisible clock ticking in our heads, comparing our internal, messy, unedited raw footage to everyone else's carefully color-graded highlight reel. We feel like we're lagging behind in a race where we don't even know where the finish line is, or what the prize even looks like. But even the people who seem like they have it all figured out, the ones with the calm voices and the organized desks, are probably feeling the same hollow vibration in their chest that you are at 3 a.m. I know I feel it. I know that the goals I've chased thus far have led me to where I am right now, sitting at my computer, watching the cursor blink like a digital heartbeat, writing a script that, for all I know, is really just a public journal for what I'm feeling in the moment. We all have moments like this. This is the collective sigh of a generation that realized the American dream, or the successful life, was a modular furniture set that we don't have the tools to assemble. Think about the way we move through the world. We come together at work, school, and hobbies, and we act as if we don't all think this deeply. It's the great human masquerade. You walk by your coworkers every day and have the same hollow scripted conversations. How are you? Good, you? Living the dream. It's a lie we all agree to tell, so the gears of society keep turning. We ignore the fact that we are all unique souls dealing with different weights, worrying about pains and deadlines like there are the boundaries of the universe. We do it because we want to be normal. We want to say hello and move on because the alternative, acknowledging that we are all terrified, beautiful, and confused, is too heavy for a Tuesday morning staff meeting. But it's crazy to not normalize the one thing that everyone has in common. We all go home and ponder the same questions. Am I doing it right? What could I do better? How do I find the one? Is this all there is? But instead of answering these questions with silence and truth, our days are filled with ultra-processed activities. We've been fed a diet of digital noise that keeps us from hearing the engine in our own souls. We scroll because the silence feels like an indictment of our lack of progress. We consume because we've forgotten how to create. This channel started as a how-to for self-improvement. It was born from that same anxiety, the need to be better, faster, stronger. But it's becoming something else. It's becoming a checkpoint, a place for expression, for dreams, and for the realization that maybe the improvement isn't about optimizing your routine, but about learning how to sit with yourself without wanting to jump out of your own skin. I think it's beautiful to not know what tomorrow holds, to have no idea what direction you're headed, but knowing you're going somewhere. Think back to when you were a kid. If you ever went on a trip with your parents and they said you were going on vacation, but refused to tell you the destination. You were in the back seat, staring out the window, watching the trees blur into a green haze. You didn't have the GPS. You didn't know the route. You didn't know if you were going to the beach or to the mountains, but you weren't anxious. You were excited. Why did we trade that wonder for this crushing need for certainty? If we could all focus on viewing life like we were in the back seat again, everything would be way more fun. Everything would be exciting. Even on that trip, we got a flat tire or forgot the bait for the fishing spot. Those weren't failures. They were the middle of the story. They turned out to be the memories we actually talk about 10 years later. The hardest thing to do is view the present moment as a memory that'll be cherished. It's hard to see the beauty in a 9-to-5 that feels like a slow leak in your soul, or the frustration of a project that won't ever come together. But years in the future, you'll look back on these days. You'll remember the cringiest moments where your boss had a crazy, unrealistic expectation, or how that shared misery ultimately turned into a moment of connection for you and another coworker. Maybe a connection that led to a long friendship, a moment of connection that possibly turned into years of laughter around the campfire, or nights where you both drank too much and finally talked about the things that actually matter. Even the shitty friendships, the betrayals, the people who let you down, they aren't wasted time. They are the friction that polishes you. They teach you who you are by showing you what you will never tolerate again. It's all just so oddly beautiful because it's so uniquely yours. I didn't expect to be sitting here at 5 p.m. listening to Ordinary by Alex Warren, writing a script that I plan to turn into a 20-minute video. What a pretty melody this song has. It has this perfect tone in the intro that, when you put it on repeat, just seems to let time fly by like nobody's watching. It makes me feel like I'm part of a larger, slower rhythm. It reminds me that we all have moments like this. Moments where we are suspended between who we were and who we're going to be. What if we could see each other's deepest moments? If we could see the popular influencer crying in their car because they feel like a fraud, or the nerd in the classroom dreaming of a world where their passion is the currency of the land, we'd realize we are all the same person, but just in different skin. We are all living our first lives. That's the realization that changes the way you look at the world. Our parents are living their first lives too. This is the hardest part of growing up. We spend our childhoods looking at our parents like they are gods, pillars of absolute knowledge and authority. We think they have the answers. We think they have the map. Then we hit our 20s and we start to see the cracks. We start to resent them for their mistakes, for the things they didn't teach us, or the ways they were hard on us. But eventually, the lens shifts. You realize they were just kids who got older. They were 25 and lost once. They were 30 and terrified once. When they had you, they weren't handed a manual on how to raise a soul. They were just two people trying to figure out how to be adults while they still felt like children themselves. They are rookies at being 50. They are rookies at being 60. They are aging for the first time. They are facing their mortality for the first time. Once you realize that your parents are just us with more history and more scar tissue, the anger dissolves into a heavy kind of empathy. You stop asking them for the map and start realizing you're both lost in the same woods. And maybe, just maybe, you can hold each other's hands while you walk. We are all just variations of the same human story. We are all trying to find home in a world that keeps moving the street signs. The pressure to be someone is a debt we never signed for. We are told to leave our mark and change the world. But what if the most radical thing you can do is just be kind to yourself in the middle of the mess? What if the mark you leave is just the way you made people feel when you were both stuck in a boring meeting? You aren't falling behind because there is no race. There is no leaderboard for being a human. There is only this: the music in your ears, the air in your lungs, and the radical, frightening, beautiful fact that you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next. We spend so much time trying to escape our ordinary lives, but the ordinary is where the pulse is. It's in the way the light hits the floor at 5 p.m. It's in the taste of a coffee you didn't have to make yourself. It's in the quiet realization that you survived another day of being yourself. In that not knowing, you are finally free. You can stop trying to fix yourself like a broken appliance and just start being yourself like you're a wild landscape. You aren't a project to be completed. You are a story being told in real time, and you don't get to see the ending until you're already there. Our days are filled with the ultra-processed. We eat processed food, we consume processed media, and we live processed lives. We follow a script written by corporations and algorithms that want us to stay in a state of constant low-level anxiety. Because anxious people buy things. Anxious people look for hacks. Anxious people don't ask why the system is broken. They ask how they can fit into it better. But when you sit in the silence, when you write your own script, you reclaim your humanity. You realize that the lost feeling isn't a bug in the system, it's just a feature. It's the part of you that knows there's more than just the processed path. It's the part of you that's still dreaming. I think it's so funny that this channel started out as a how-to be more productive, how to get ahead. But getting ahead just means you're closer to the end. I'd rather stay right here, in the middle of the mess, with you. This is a channel built for expression. It's a channel filled with dreams that don't have to be useful. It's a channel for the nerd, the influencer, the worker, and the dreamer to realize they are all the same. We are all just skin and bone in a desperate need to be seen. And I'm going to keep sitting here. I'm going to keep listening to this song on repeat until the sun goes down and the room gets dark. Not because I'm trying to achieve something, but because I want to feel the weight of this moment. I want to acknowledge that I don't know where I'm going, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually okay with that. I hope you find some peace in your own not knowing tonight. I hope you look at your parents and see the children they still are. I hope you look at your boss and see the fear they're hiding. And I hope you look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you aren't lost. You're just exploring a part of the map that nobody has named yet. So take a breath. The world is going to keep spinning whether you figure it out or not. So you might as well enjoy the ride. Even the flat tires. Even the rainy days. Especially the moments where the music sounds just right and you realize for a split second that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are doing a great job at something that has never been done before. Being you. In this moment. In this world. That's not just okay. That's everything. As we wrap up this thought, as the screen goes dark and you head back into your ordinary life, I want you to carry one thing with you. You are the author of a book that hasn't been written yet. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. And don't be afraid of the blank pages. The blank pages are where the best parts of the story happen. So if you're feeling that weight in your chest right now, that weird mix of fear and excitement about the fact that you're truly in control of your own chaos, don't let that control you. Just keep living your life. Because you aren't behind. You're just the same as everyone else, and that's okay. We are all the same person walking a different road. We can just hope our road leads us to somewhere that our dreams might get to walk free. So, thank you for watching.